And in one of his wildest parables, the mustard seed, he gives us this vision of how reality can be subverted from within, transfigured from within, by the very, very, very subtle and wild power of the Spirit. From Mark 4:30-32. And Jesus said, "With what can we compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable shall we use for it? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which when sown upon the ground is the smallest of seeds on earth. Yet when it is sown, it grows up and becomes the greatest of all shrubs, and puts forth large branches, so that the birds of the air can make nests in its shade." On the most obvious level, Jesus is talking about the power of the Spirit. He's talking about how a tiny seed of Godhead within each of us, which when sown, really claimed, and really lived out, grows rapidly and becomes a large tree capable of sheltering and nurturing others. The reality of the world and of the worldly mind denies the reality of the Spirit because it cannot be seen. But Jesus is saying that the Spirit is like a mustard seed. Invisibly, its effects grow very fast, until the whole of external reality also is transformed, and what seemed a tiny seed has become a large, vibrant, powerful tree. Dominic Crossan tells us in Jesus, a Revolutionary Biography, "The mustard plant is dangerous even when domesticated in the garden, and is deadly when growing wild in the grain fields. And those nesting birds which might strike us as charming represented to ancient farmers a permanent danger to the seed and grain. The point, in other words, is not just that the mustard plant starts as a proverbial small seed and grows into a shrub of 3, 4, or even more feet in height. It is that it tends to take over where it is not wanted, and that, Jesus said, was what the kingdom was like a pungent shrub with dangerous takeover properties." So in the same parable, Jesus is showing us the miraculous power of the Spirit to grow in reality from humble beginnings, and also pointing out how radical, even destructive of everything that we know and take for granted that growth can be. Once the power of this kingdom consciousness, the kingdom consciousness that Jesus is saying is all of our birthrights, is really unleashed in the world and in all aspects of world life, then all the world's tidy symmetries and all the world's controlling orders, all the world's man-made barriers, all the world's demarcations, all the world's socially convenient distinctions will be utterly menaced